Well, the room looks pretty fantastic from up here, and it is wonderful to see everyone tonight. My name is Maureen Rooney. I am the president of AAF Pittsburgh, and we have some of, thank you. We have some of Pittsburgh's finest in this room, and I am not just talking about the advertising community. We have Jeff Frisella as our MC tonight, so if you can give him a big round of applause. Thank you, Jeff. And I'm feeling pretty lucky to be here right now. The inductees tonight are positively the best of the best. They have each helped to encourage, grow, and support the Pittsburgh advertising community. They have defined what it means to be a leader and are true examples of professionalism. To many of us, they are colleagues, friends, role models, and mentors. For me personally, I have looked up to these folks my entire career, and they are an inspiration for what is possible in advertising. So it really is a true honor for me to be standing here tonight celebrating all of their accomplishments. So cheers to the inductees. We also have a room full of amazing sponsors tonight. So I'd like to just take a minute to thank them. So thank you very much. And of course, everyone knows this evening can't happen with a fantastic group of people to put this together. So I'd like to thank our Hall of Fame committee, who is chaired by Gordon Robertson, who's also a past AAF president. So thank you so much. They have volunteered their time and their talents to make this evening so special, and I know it's been a while since we've all been together, so thank you again for putting this together. So please, I ask you to enjoy your salads. Dinner will be served shortly, and we'll get started with our program. Thank you again.
It's time to move on now to the reason why you're all here tonight, is to honor some very wonderful people and their professional accomplishments. The Patricia Martin Crystal Prism Award recognizes a member of the advertising community who has contributed outstanding service to furthering the profession through their craft, including the important role of passing their knowledge to the next generation of ad professionals through education. Tonight, we'll be inducting John Rice as the Patricia Martin Crystal Prism Award winner. Please join me in welcoming to the stage 2006 Hall of Achievement inductee Bill Garrison to introduce John.
John spoke volumes with his actions and his heart. He respected everyone's opinion, even mine, and he proved that you could be a nice guy and a great director in this business. He has directed nearly 30 documentaries, features, and short films that have been screened from Sundance to Singapore and garnered dozens of national and international film festival awards. So it is my honor to introduce my friend John Rice for this year's Patricia Martin Crystal Prism Award.
At that time, I still didn't realize that filmmakers made commercials, but I was lucky to, in the decade that followed, to get a good education on the ins and outs of the production side by working for filmmakers who did. One of them is here tonight, Glenn Przborski, and I gotta thank you for all the generous time that you spent mentoring me. Thank you. Incredibly, in that luck and during that time, as Bill had mentioned, I got a job with Joe Pitko, a one and only, that was shooting at Ketchum Advertising when they were at 4 Gateway Center. And probably the luckiest thing that's ever happened to me is that's where I met my wife, Mana. And I don't remember much about the commercial, but I certainly remember that as one of the greatest times of my life, so, dear. Any contributions I may have made to the ad industry come from working side by side with my late partner, Amy Lamb. I really can't imagine that I would be standing here at this point in time if it wasn't for my good fortune of teaming up with Amy. She is indeed missed. When I made the move over to teaching, I really got a lot out of it. For me, the opportunity to see young people excited about filmmaking was infectious. And I feel that that experience improved me as a filmmaker. So thanks for this recognition. The work has been rewarding, and together with the many people who are talented, the many people that I have met along the way, it's given me some great memories. And like Kodachrome, the colors won't fade anytime soon. Thank you.
The American Advertising Federation's Silver Medal Award program was established in 1959 to recognize men and women who have made outstanding contributions to advertising and who have been active in furthering the industry's standards, creative excellence, and responsibility in areas of social concern. To introduce this year's AAF Silver Medal winner, Karen Love, let's welcome to the stage former AAF president and the 2012 Crystal Prism Award winner, Meade Johnson.
Please let me officially introduce you to Karen Love. She has been a cornerstone of the Pittsburgh advertising community for her entire professional career. She has worked in many different facets of advertising, including several roles at a large Pittsburgh agency with many, many names. Right? Sounds familiar? As well as her own agency, The Ad Farm. She took all of that experience and plugged it right into her role as the first executive director of the Pittsburgh Advertising Federation, where she partnered with many of you in this room to help build the organization into what it is today. Karen is a collaborator, unselfishly and tirelessly sharing information, her knowledge and experience, and all her advertising secrets with several generations of our community. Ladies and gentlemen, Karen Love.
Thank you to the Pittsburgh Ad Federation for this award. But in reality, it belongs to a dream team, a group of remarkable individuals whose will and determination created the successful Ad Federation. But before I get to my dream teammates, there's one person that I really need to single out. My husband, Raymond. For over 14 years, he put up with my 12 to 16-hour workdays, my absence due to meetings, events, regional traveling, all while caring for my mother, who still lives with us. So to my husband, a profound thank you for all your years of support and patience. As Pittsburgh AdFed's first executive director, my job was simple. Make our organization shine, respected, and protected at all costs. And while I'm honored with this award, the true honor was to be amongst the finest and most admired talent in our industry. Hired by marketing icon Michael Bruner, who's being honored tonight, nurtured by the renowned creative director Ann McFadden, awed by Brian Bernard's creative magic promoting us, reaped the rewards of mover and shaker Adam Gollum, and as always, counted on David Case for PMI's AV support for more years than I'm sure he'd like to remember. And still there are countless others that I apologize for not mentioning. So thank you to the Pittsburgh Ad Federation for the Silver Medal Award, and I humbly accept this on behalf of the team. But most importantly, thank you for the true gift, my lifelong friends. Mahalo nui loa.
The AAF Hall of Achievement was established to recognize the individuals still in the prime of their career who continue to make significant impacts in the advertising community. Nominees are evaluated based on outstanding career achievements with measurable results in the field of advertising. Tonight we honor two new inductees into the Hall of Achievement. First, Tia Kalis, Assistant Vice President and Creative Director at Garrison Hughes. To introduce Tia for induction, please welcome Garrison Hughes Chief Creative Officer, Mike Junta.
She's one of the most awarded art directors in the city. She's won Best of Show, Judges Award of Excellence at the Addies, Obie Awards for outdoor work, communication arts. she's elevated the work for the whole city, and she's, I think, represented the creative community outside the market at like national and regional awards. You know, I had no idea years ago when you walked into our agency what an impact you'd have on both the agency and me and my career, or really how much fun we'd have together. And you know, even when we're crushed with work and we're up late at night working, and I know during COVID we'd be up on Zoom calls together and we'd hear your baby singing in the monitor as we tried to work together. You know, you always made it fun, and your sense of humor is what, you know, sustained us, and you know, everyone in the agency appreciates what you've done. She's a great designer, a great mom, a great mentor, and I believe she's a great addition to the Hall of Achievement. My friend Tia Callis.
My first TV spot at Garrison Hughes was for UPMC Senior Communities. And Mike and I had gone around to the various locations across the city, which was great for me to get to learn my way around town. And we interviewed the residents of the communities. They all had these amazing stories, and they were so much fun to talk to. I still remember them all to this day. I will never forget them. And in the interviews, we quickly found that, above all, more than the amenities, the activities, the food, which was pretty good, the one thing that they all had in common that they loved the most was the people. So we decided to make that the foundation for the spot and recorded everybody saying, "It's the people, it's the people." It was really catchy, and by the end of the day, even the crew was saying, "It's the people, it's the people." And for me, in my own life, it has always been about the people. Growing up, my parents were always really supportive of my creative ideas, and they would help me with whatever crazy projects I would come up with in my head as a young child. And my husband, Ted, has been that person who has encouraged me to push the boundaries of what I thought possible for myself in my life. And fatefully, in 2010, he found a directory of Pittsburgh agencies, and he encouraged me to research each and every one to see where I might be a good fit. That action led me to where I am today at Garrison Hughes in this wonderful city. I especially want to thank Mike for being a tremendous friend and teacher and some sort of hybrid of a favorite uncle and a work husband. And I also want to thank Debbie Regan. Debbie, you have been my co-pilot and my partner in crime for so many years. Debbie and Mike, your steadiness and your genuine love for our success is truly something that I will never take for granted. I also want to thank our faithful clients whose partnerships and longevity is so special. My friends at UPMC, I couldn't be happier and more humbled to be sharing this night with you. I'd also like to thank the AdFed for an honor to last a lifetime and for choosing to honor me tonight. And lastly, as we all know too well, life is a circle. And since I began talking about seniors, I will end talking about the littlest people in my life. My 4-year-old daughter, Maria, and my 5-month-old son, Theodore, are my greatest creations, and they inspire me every day. Recently, I asked Maria if she knew what I did for a living. She said no. But that's okay. I know that one day she will understand, and I also hope that she finds a way to make a living out of her passion as well. Thank you so much.
Up next, second Hall of Achievement inductee for 2022, Trish Parkhill. Here to introduce Trish, once again, please welcome AAF Pittsburgh President and Director of Account Services at Market Space Agency, Maureen Rooney.
Trish is a true leader in every sense of the word. She leads by example with her professionalism, her strategic thinking, and her problem-solving mentality. She jumps in, writes copy when needed, participates in a brainstorm. Nothing is beneath her. She stays true to herself and encourages those around her to do the same. Trish is dedicated to her clients, to her team, and most importantly, to her family. If Trish says she will do something, you can count on her to get it done. When you need someone in your corner, you can count on Trish. She believes in her employees, and she empowers us to be the best version of ourselves. I've been lucky enough to have her as my champion for the last 17 plus years. So it is my absolute pleasure and honor to introduce Hall of Achievement inductee, my friend, Trish Parkhill.
And so when we did this career video, which was one of my favorite things of this to do, and looking back at everything that's got me here, I realized there were so many moments like that, so many scary moments and jumping off points for me that led me here. And it just got me thinking about that. And it was like, you know, I was the first in my family to go to college. I was, right after college, left my comfortable little hometown of Beaver County and moved to New York City with literally nothing but like a really, really bad portfolio. And then I was there and I got a job offer in a broadcast production, which I knew nothing about, terrifying, took it anyway. And then I came back home and took my dream job at Mark USA as a writer, but literally had zero experience, just decided I'm just gonna, you know, fly by the seat of my pants and go for it. And then I took a job at a much smaller agency, which was really scary for me because it was a total change in career. I was so comfortable where I was, doing my thing, but I knew that to continue to grow, I needed to do something else. So I took this leap and went with a much smaller agency that promised really big potential. And then I woke up one day to find out that through circumstances out of any of our control, I was suddenly president, CEO, and sole owner of a company with zero business acumen. Terrifying. Probably one of the scariest moments of my life, not just my career. Yet, here I am, standing here with the feeling of total happiness and pure euphoria. You know, people always tell you, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. I say, be afraid, scare yourself shitless, pee your pants. It's fine. You never know what might come of it. Don't be afraid of something that might be ahead of you because you just never know what great things could come. So I do definitely want to say thank you very, very much to a few people. Number one, my team, the entire market-based team is here today. Literally love you so much. Cannot even imagine working next to anybody else but you guys every single day. My husband, who is also here, who, as the spouse of a business owner, if anybody else here is the spouse of a business owner, he also suffers fear every day. He never knows if we're sinking or swimming, winning or losing. He just trusts me that everything's fine and we're gonna go with the flow and we'll figure it out tomorrow. So the last thing I wanna say is somebody called me last week to congratulate me and say, oh, that's so awesome, congratulations, I saw you are getting inducted into the Hall of Achievement. But FYI, once you get, you know, an award like this, people are watching all the time, so you better not mess up. And I'll tell you what, there is so much talent and skill and excitement and passion in that team. If this brings more eyes and more vision to us, I say bring it on. That is something we are not afraid of. So we'll embrace it. Thank you so very much.
Now, on to the AAF Pittsburgh Hall of Fame inductees. This is recognition of a lifetime's worth of hard work and work, dedication, talent, achievement, and recognition by peers. There are brands that have built world-class cities and topped billions of French fries and hamburgers worldwide. But tonight's corporate inductee has made Pittsburgh famous for something even more important, world-class medicine. Please welcome the founder and owner of Untitled Content, Mr. Dax Parisi.
UPMC is a strong brand in Western Pennsylvania. It has been 13 years since UPMC traded in the blue logo for the purple we know today. Employing more than 92,000 people with 40 hospitals and 800 doctor's offices, UPMC gives back $1 billion annually to this community. UPMC's advertising showcase innovation, technology, and humanity. They use actual patients, physicians, and employees in their campaigns to drive the health of today into the hospitals of the future. Life-changing advertising for life-changing medicine. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Rachel Graham, Lillian Marshall, Dawn Butler, to the stage to accept the American Advertising Federation's Hall of Fame induction on behalf of UPMC.
Thank you. Rochelle, Dawn, and myself, we just want to thank everybody here for this honor. We're here to accept this great award on behalf of UPMC, the UPMC Health Plan, the Health Services Division, UPMC International, and UPMC Enterprises. We are very proud to be part of this community, and we want to thank you all, thank the AdFed, and we will not keep this going. This is it. Thank you. Do you have anything to say? Thank you. Thank you.
Now to the 3 individual Hall of Fame inductees. The first honoree is the definition of beauty, glamour, grace, and business savvy. Deb Doherty is not only one of the brightest stars in the Pittsburgh advertising community, but she's also personally responsible for giving thousands of others an opportunity to let their stars shine as well. The Pittsburgh Advertising Hall of Fame is proud to welcome Deb Doherty as an inductee. To introduce Deb, please welcome to the stage her brother Michael, who will be speaking directly in front of the stage. Michael.
Deb's navigated this disease with grace and humor like I never could have. She's done it without losing her focus on who she is and keeping the focus on others. I mean, I could tell you lots of stories. I'll tell you just a few. You know, just in the past year, I've had the good fortune to get involved in the business. I can't tell you how many times I get accosted by models and talent and client to tell me what she did for them, how she either gave them tough love or believed in them before anyone else did. She's always there for others. Deb invented this game a few years ago and tried it on a few of us, and it was called, hey, it's National Silly Sounds Day. And it was really, you didn't know it, but it was a test. She'd come up to you and say, hey, it's National Silly Sounds Day, quick, what's your sound? And if you came back with something like, or whoop, any sound at all, that's fine. But if you hesitated, that was a sign you weren't willing to sort of put yourself out there. But you know, I bring it up because she really did value that in all of her talent. And with that, please join me in honoring and thanking Deb Doherty for all she's done.
Thank you for this incredible honor, and thanks to Bill Garrison for the nomination. I'm here because people like Bill supported me in my career. So it's been rewarding for me to support others making their way in this industry. New talent, new agents, new partners. Like many of you, I'm a competitive person, but the sense of community that we also enjoy is something we need to cherish and nurture. When I was young, I started college, but dropped out to find a different adventure. I never would have predicted the path that my life and career would take, but I wouldn't change a thing. This synthesized voice can't convey my true emotions. In fact, I thought about using one of those celebrity voices. No matter what voice I use, please know how happy I am to be here with everyone. Thank you to the entire Doherty team joining me here tonight. I am very grateful that my incredible family and friends can also share in this evening, along with many colleagues who I've worked with during this exciting journey. So to all of you, let me say once more, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
To announce our next Hall of Fame inductee is Managing Partner of Edgar Snyder and Associates, Michael Rosenwig.
He was a pioneer, trailblazer, first on the newspaper, and you saw one of those newspaper ads, then on the television. Soon we went on to radio, and we were one of the first law firms to have a robust website. He educated the public on contingency fees, as we've seen earlier, and now everybody knows with his iconic catchphrase, no fee unless we get money for you. Edgar always inspired that we must have the top legal talent and we should always get top employees, including paying top salary and benefits. He stressed that we should have the best systems, and always our clients came first. So on behalf of our law firm, my 7 partners who are here, and everyone who knows Edgar, please join me in congratulating his induction into the Pittsburgh Ad Federation Hall of Fame.
In 1983, I put a tombstone ad this big in the Pittsburgh Press. All it said was, "Know your rights if you're arrested for DUI." And I had no idea whether this would really work or not. But this little ad, in 1 year, we had the largest drunk driving practice in Pennsylvania. And my partner and the first person who ever worked for me is gracing me to sit at the table, Cindy Donnell, and it was just Cindy and I. There was just 2 of us. This led to a business decision that brought in a tremendous amount of business that we had never had before. And we made the decision in 1986, let's go on television, let's go where the big boys are. And what we found out, the most important words at that period of time, and I think they're still important, but they were really important. The word free. Free. If you don't come to us, we'll come to you. We learned at that particular time, by going on television, that this was something that was revolutionary to a whole part of society that all of a sudden felt, wow, it's not going to cost us anything, and they'll come out to see us. What do we have to lose? It's not going to cost. And what I used to lose sleep over was I said, if I don't figure this out, I'm going to go bankrupt. And some smart business lawyer is going to come in and say, oh, God, Edgar Snyder was so stupid. Didn't he understand? And what I learned was, you got to build a business, and you have to be able to do this from the ground up, and you have to be able to offer people something for the price of what they're doing and coming to see you. Without the ability to have a law firm, I would be nothing if I hadn't put together, and the lawyers who came to work for me at that particular time, they made the quality of the product. Without the product having the quality, your great ads won't mean a thing, because there's always going to be another product to come along that can do it better. So what we learned was there's a symbiotic relationship between quality and doing good advertising at that time. And I'm proud to say that the quality was there. 3 of the people that started this and were with me almost the entire way are here. And that is Michael Rosenzweig, who made the presentation. Thank you for the nice words, Michael. Rick Rosenthal, who's sitting at the table, and Cindy Donnell. Those 3 people helped me to prepare the quality that we needed in order to make it go, because without it, the ads would make no difference. And I have to say to you, without all of you, none of this takes place. There is no Hall of Fame for Edgar Snyder. So from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate what you have all done and the part that you play, and you continue to play it. I also learned a couple other important lessons, and that was, don't let the critics defeat you. As Michael said, for the first 5 years I was a pariah, an ambulance chaser, schlockmeister of ads. Who could put that ad on? Who would be crass enough to go into a junkyard as a lawyer and film commercials where you're dropping motorcycles, cars, and vans out of the sky? I remember standing up and saying, if you're hurt in an accident, bring your problem to us. And a car came down on my desk, which we had set up 15 feet ahead. The lawyers said, you're the worst. You shouldn't even be, I mean, you're a disgrace to the profession. The phones never stopped ringing. The public loved it. The last thing that I will say on that issue is you gotta be yourself. And when you say there's no fee unless we get money for you, and a couple people said tonight, won't you say it? And I said, yes, there's no fee unless you get money for you. But that was me. That wasn't some clever ad stunt or something of that. I'm a Pittsburgher. I talk like a Pittsburgher. I think like a Pittsburgher. I act like a Pittsburgher. We do work in Western Pennsylvania, which is primarily the same. And I think everybody has to be themselves. This has been a fabulous evening for me. I am so appreciative, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you to the Federation of Pittsburgh, the American Advertising Federation, for choosing me to be in the Hall of Fame. I cherish it. Thanks again.
Our final Hall of Fame inductee this evening is Michael Bruner, who has built one of the largest, most well-respected agencies in Pittsburgh. To introduce Michael, please welcome to the stage his longtime colleague and president of Bruner, Scott Morgan.
From the scrappy north side of the city, pursues a teaching career, then discovers, as honorable as it were, doesn't feed his passion for marketing and his entrepreneurial drive. So he switches gears. He jumps into the advertising business, quickly becomes a killer bee, because in relatively short order, the agency cracked the top 25, then went on a rapid growth trajectory that eventually got us into the top 10, then the top 5, then the top 3, and well, let's just say on the radar in a really big way. So buy or build became the key growth strategy along with winning new business. Though I think the real secret to our success has been and continues to be our wonderfully inclusive culture that sustains us today. Michael, you've been a beacon, just like our big, beautiful sign, for so many, including me. Welcome, my friend, to the AdFed Hall of Fame.
I got into this business because I had a real appreciation for the creative process and everything around it. I was truly enchanted. The business has changed a lot over my years, certainly. It's become more complicated. But it still comes down to really one thing, telling a cohesive story across the entire consumer journey. So what I want to do for the remaining few minutes that I have, I want to talk a little bit about some people that have had an amazing impact on my journey. And really, it's credit to all of them and so many that I can't mention tonight that have me standing up here tonight. So first of all, before I get to the business side, I'll start with my wife, Marita. Thank you. You know, you work in this business, you put so many hours in, you miss so many things, you miss events, you miss conversations, you miss a lot. You know, I did. I clearly did. So thank you for your support and your belief, because back then, the industry, or the agency was really, we wouldn't have made the top 200 on the Pittsburgh Business Times. So thank you. I also want to thank Joe Blattner. Joe hired me. And I used to joke, we were 6 people, and 4 of them were related. It was a different time. We were a print brokerage that wanted to be an ad agency. And it was a journey for sure, but it was a good one. Another name that I have to mention, and only a handful of people here will know this name, John DeCou was our first account services director. John had the experience, he had the age, the seniority. We were all too young, needed that senior face and that wisdom that John always delivered. He is no longer with us. Another person that is here tonight, and my hat is off to her in every possible way, is Karen Smith. Karen, you're a remarkable woman. You handled the pressure with the coolness and calmness that I haven't seen. Broadcast production was your thing, and boy, you made it happen. This place could be on fire tonight, and Karen would line us up in twos and say, all right, now just calm down and walk out gently and quietly. So I also want to acknowledge a few people that have left to follow their dream, which I've always encouraged because it's not an easy thing. And there are a number of people that did, and I know I won't get all of the names, but I'll read a few. Ned Show, Jeff Tolley, John Gatesman, Bill Garrison. Bill, you've done an amazing job, not just here in the AAF, but in everything you've done with the agency. So now I'll end with the partnership, the new partners of the team. As I said, I stepped out last year. I had the privilege and the pleasure of selling it to the executive team. And that doesn't happen every day. And when you do, you ensure one thing. You ensure that the culture that you and others have built through the years has an opportunity to be carried on and send a wonderful signal to the rest of the organization. Rick Gardner, sitting right there, been with us for over 20 years. Rick, same thing when you came into the organization, I know your head was spinning. You had no idea. What did you walk into? As a technology/software consultant, and now you're in an ad agency? I'm surprised you didn't walk out on the third day, but you didn't. And I credit you for a lot of the things that we did that took us into the digital era in a big way. Ken Johns, who couldn't be here tonight, I have nothing but great things to say about Kenny, also a partner. Client experience, started in account service. Actually, Kenny started as an intern. And I worked with Kenny and I thought, wow, this kid, he's good. He's got an amazing future. So what did I do? I told him he should leave the agency. I said, you should go out. You should work for another firm. I think it'd be good for you. Always wondering if that was the right decision. But he came back. And Kenny is now one of the partners. Dan Gabor, Kevin Amos, sitting right there. Dan, you are awesome. When you lock your sights on something, there is nothing that will stop you. And Kevin, I kid you sometimes about being a rows and columns guy, but you're a wizard when it comes to rows and columns, my friend. Aaron Stoner, partner, CFO. You know, qualities like dependability, reliability, trustworthy, you would think, okay, that's what CFOs are. Well, Aaron, you had all those qualities way before you were the CFO. You are, without a doubt, one of the most selfless people I have ever worked with. You are so much more than numbers. Thank you. And I'll end with Scott. That was the tall dude who came up here and read the beginning. Scott, you've been with the organization for most of your professional career. You've seen so many changes. New services, new people, people come, people go, clients come, clients go. But you were there. You were there the whole time. And you believed in what we were doing, and you believed in me. I'll end with something that I learned through the years, and it is so simple, absolutely so simple. And no one ever, or I didn't get it out of a book, it was just something that I learned. And it's very simple, and the fact is, you can get more from people willingly than you can ever compel them to do. All you have to do is let them know you believe in them, then they will pay you back tenfold by believing in you. Thank you, everyone. It's been an honor. It's been great to be in this industry.
Congratulations to all of the honorees tonight. Don't forget that the call for entries for the 2022 American Advertising Awards is going to open in November, and there's likely to be awards given out that night to future Hall of Famers. Drive carefully, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace.